Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Back again with the old format, man. This is like old format because I'm like doing this on my like hangouts, like old school. So give me a minute here to set up. Like the description says, we're playing some we're painting some Batman. So I'm gonna put this hangout here. Let's see who is up for hanging out tonight. Wow. All right. Sorry, guys. Just give me a minute here. One day, if I do that, oops, let them know. And this. All right. There we go. Okay. So we'll put that there, and we're just gonna rock it. Let me open up my comment section. So if you are commenting, give me a minute to open it up. It's been many days since I've done this style. Figured let's just do it. Let's just do the old school, old style. Something. Okay. There we go. Hey, what's up, Nelson? All right. So you have the Hangout link if you want to pop in. If not, no worries. I gotta change my man. A little out of sorts tonight. Just catching up. Got some painting to catch up on. I'm gonna throw this wire up here so it's not in the way. And move this here so I can see what's going on. There we go. So we got a bunch of Batman stuff to paint, but it's not terrible stuff. It's just there's just a lot of it. Well, not a lot of it, but you know, it's just regular ass painting. I gotta decide if I want to try to airbrush some more detail on these, or if I should just go for mine. Probably just gonna. Well, first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna hit it with a dry brush. I think if I have a good serviceable dry brush. What are you painting tonight, Nelson? You're cooking? What are you cooking? Man. I'm gonna do a little bit of a dry brush here. And then we're gonna mix it up, do a little bit of dry brush, and then go back to, and then we'll get back to the airbrushing. So I need like a sand color, right? Desert sand or a bone color. Whenever you're doing a generic dry brush, it's good to use a color like that. Like this is a good light gray green is a good color, and it's airbrush grade, so it's already thinned. So all I'm gonna do is put a little on my palette there, and then I'm gonna take our little handy dandy makeup brush. Ooh, this stuff is really absorbent. There we go. All right. Beef stew and boba. That sounds amazing. Okay, so we're just going to use this to pick up a little bit of light on the miniature. And you can do it. You can kind of do it on the entire model if you want. Right? Okay. Together, of course. So you're making your own boba? That's awesome. What are you gonna? Are you make? I'm assuming you're making some sort of a tea or something for your boba. So again, this should just be a very light dry brush, just designed to catch edges. This thing has like, this guy's got that like yellow, the yellow detail. Chaos. Whoa, a little too much there. Milk tea, taro tea, or red bean soup. Oh, cool. All sounds good to me. And I'm trying to get the thing about this Nightwing is the actual blue, the blue wing part can be hard to decipher sometimes. So all right. Trying a cranberry red wine. Ugh, I'm not a wine guy myself. I went through a phase where I liked wine and didn't last very long. All right. Hey, what's up, Congo? So we gotta. These are pretty quick. These plants. Those batons are dangerous. Most complaints about them being broke. Yeah, they are pretty thin, so you gotta be careful when you're doing that. At least this time they made the plants all one piece. I hated when the metal plants were multi-piece, and you're like, what the hell? Life is too short to be working that long to pin a bunch of plants. Okay. The night resins, they kind of have a mixed. I feel like they're a mixed bag. Like they're really good in terms of their detail and their quality and everything, but sometimes I feel like they get a little too ambitious with the sculpts. and so the sculpts end up being fiddly or sometimes even hard to distinguish. All right. Even though I'm not technically working on Killer Croc tonight, I'll use dry brush. This Killer Croc is freaking awesome piece now. The metal one was okay. The thing about Batman is like I was telling Nelson the other day, I think the real fun in this game is just collecting all the pieces. And then if you're a painter, these can be very fun to paint. These are some of my favorite commissions to do as Batman because it's like I know I'm always going to enjoy the process. You know what I mean? Because you're painting a comic style, the miniatures, if it's new kit, it's a lot easier to deal with, and the whole painting experience is a little more enjoyable because the building the metal kits was just the worst. I think I think Nelson hired me to do that just so that I would have to build the metal kits. I know Jose did that shit. Jose didn't give a shit if I painted his Batman or not. He just wanted me to build it. All right. You can see he's coming in pretty well now. Pretty happy with like where that's going. I could also do a little bit of a highlight here on King Shark. He still needs King Shark still needs a lot more actually. Like this dry brush is kind of unnecessary because I have to hit him with the darker gray first, in fact. This is my favorite part about painting this particular commission is I get to paint King Shark. Except there's a mold line right there, which is annoying. I worked on it yesterday and the night before, just trying to get clean up some of the lines on King Shark, and they're not great. Right? And there's a gap there that just showed up after I glued it together. All right. So let's spray a little bit of like the purple and pinks. So we're going to use our detail airbrush for this. Clean up the needle first. I was a bitch. Yeah, pinning sucks. Pinning sucks, but if you want your metal stuff to really do well, you should pin it. Ah. So Nelson, how was that Star Wars Legion event today? Was that good? All right. So I think this one has purple flowers. The rest of them are kind of like pinkish. All right. Make sure I got a good clear path here. Pretty good. Slight pulse in here. All right. Let's get some violets and some pinks out. Jason turned it around in the final turn 6. Princess Leia barely escaped. Oh, nice. So was it a tournament, or you guys just had like a scheduled like gaming event? Tiebreaker, nice. There we go. I was a tourney. Oh, cool. There we go. Good. So I can start to spray some of these. There's a lot of little pink faces here. I only had 3 things alive. Leia was one of them. He backed her a lot of points. Oh. Whoa. And it's weird that all of the purple stuff is facing this way. She's on a 60 millimeter, actually. It's pretty nuts. Really cool miniature. It's only 2 pieces. This is all one piece, and then her entire body is a separate piece. Right. And then the rest of these are pretty. The rest of these are pretty simple. I don't know why there's. Okay. Like a bush battle or something. I haven't looked at the card. It's been so long since I've looked at Batman shit. I have the card here. We could look at it. Woo! To really kind of build up this color slowly. I don't want it to run like that. It's a little bit of the other color on it. Oh, boss battle. I don't know, bush battle sounds amazing too. A lot of guys on the internet pay a lot of money for a bush battle. All right, there you go. Any other areas here that need? Just gonna give it. Okay. These bulbs are supposed to be purple. So I'll make these purple. Okay. All right. What I like about this particular commission is once these plants are done, that's like more than half of the commission. It's just plants. So I get this purple down, and then we're gonna do some other colors on here, just to give the plants a little variation, a little depth. Yeah, it's mostly green, but I'm gonna do lots of different greens. That makes sense. Just to kind of, it'll give them a lot of depth. You'll see. Okay. I'm not sure why that ended up bouncing that way. But I can fix that. There you go. Okay. All right. Now let's start working on some other greens to shoot. So I need to shoot like a light green and a brown. We're getting pulse. There we go. So we're actually going to shoot a little of this mustard gas on here. And this will give it a kind of a brighter green. If I do it right. And if I don't overshoot. That's the one thing. I don't want to overshoot. So shoot. Certain leaves will be kind of they'll kind of have like a yellow tinge to them. Oh, there's whole other plant right there that I missed. Oh, fine, we'll just make it yellow. This is kind of nice. You can see the yellow kind of giving. Yeah, that's nice actually. It just looks like, it's kind of adding to the warm nature of the mini. Yeah, there we go. And just do it on all of them. Right, get a little bit yellow tone. Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, yellow's kind of nice on there. Okay. Right, it's giving the plants a little more of a supernatural feel to them. Cool. Okay. Let's get that rinsed out. Now, the last thing I need to airbrush is a brown. Anybody else in the chat working on anything fun tonight? Anyone done any Christmas shopping for themselves? Yeah, right? Like no one wants to know what I bought my wife or or what I bought my kids. Everyone wants to know like what miniature shit did you buy, Octave? That's what you guys want to know. You don't give a shit about what I got. Like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna know what people. Come on, you bought some stuff for Black Friday or Cyber Monday or something, right? I bought a shit ton of Gill Ball. Still waiting on my shipping confirmation for my resin Guild Ball team, my Iskiri Wolves. I like that Jason asked me if my my NGs are still for sale, so and tell him as soon as those wolves come in, I'll be looking to sell. All right. Not bad. Now we can start to paint her. He's going to be an engineer. Yes. Engineers are pretty damn fun, I gotta say. They're a pretty fun team. Not as fun as my Alks, but still, I still enjoy them. Come on. Shooting all that crud out. So we're gonna get in and paint her. We're gonna paint her and then paint all the detail in. I think I'm just gonna shift to her. I mean, I could do Nightwing's black outfit right now, but I don't think that's appropriate. All right, here we go. All right. And now it's time to wow, those are some teeny tiny little eyes in there. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if I can do this with, those are really small eyes. Right? It's like proper Asian eye. Proper Asian eye buried in here. Okay. I just don't know. I mean, I'm going to paint the eyes in, but I am like 100% positive no one will see these eyes. They are very small eye. Some girls have very high cheekbones. Yes. This is true. There is no way you're going to see these eyes. Oh, I don't know. That's They look terrible right now. Melania Trump. She does. Melania Trump does have like that Asian style eye. Asian eye. A lot of Eastern Europeans have Asian eyes. There's got to be like some common ancestry there. There's no way anyone is gonna see that. Nope, no one's gonna see that. That's just not gonna be a thing. Okay, let's go ahead and paint the skin in. All right. Man, do the job here. Paint in the skin. This stream is probably gonna get demonetized by YouTube because we said something nice about Melania. You know, that's like media treason. You say anything nice about Trump or Melania or anybody associated with them, right? You just get your shit shut down. God, that's not covering very well. And you can't really make out any facial features on that. So odd. I think I over thin this skin. We'll make it work. It's weird because there's so much composition to this model, but there's not much going on, if that makes any sense. Right, there's no kind of a weird mini. Hey, what's up, Underdog Painting? Welcome to the feed. I don't know that I really like this sculpt that much, if I'm being honest with you. That weird little, I found a weird little flash right there that I'm gonna let me try to get rid of it. I've never known that was even there. What to do is just push it in. There we go. Just a little tiny little bit of flash the bottom of her chin there, like attaching it. I didn't quite get it all. And frankly, I don't think I can. Well, maybe I can. Been up since 3:30. Your son's Oh yeah. Oh man. I'm going through that same exact thing right now. I've got a son upstairs, 5-year-old, who's been running a fever past couple of nights. So me and my wife have been not sleeping much and just keeping an eye on him. It's the worst feeling. I hate it when like when your kids are sick, it's the worst. It's weird. I can't actually remove that. You have an 11-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an 8-month-old. Oh wow. Quite the gap there after the daughter, huh? I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So I got little guys. And the 5-year-old is the one that's sick. He still wants to go to school tomorrow. I don't think that we're gonna I don't think that's gonna happen. In fact, I went ahead and put in for tomorrow off so that I could be with him instead of the sitter. And I gotta meet with his teacher in the morning. We'll let that try. That's what's kind of bugging me, isn't it? So her head is really small. It's actually a really, really small head. And you can't You can't really do like a proper face on it. It's just too small. Let that dry for a minute. Let's go ahead and paint the hair. So I have a few of these models that are on this cobblestone. Now I could have done like landscape all through here, but um, I was told to go ahead and just use the cobblestone. So I think that's like kind of how the new resins are going in terms of how they're sculpted now. Is their dimensions are so realistic that you don't get to do much for like faces and that kind of stuff. I guess that's good though. I mean, a lot of people struggle with getting the faces right on their miniatures. So this would just the way she's sculpted, it's like, it it's not it's not encouraging you to get in and paint the details of the face. And the stand is terrible, so I'm gonna have to move. Oh, I'm gonna have to move the model off of this stand. Let's clean up the mistakes back here, which there were quite a few. I'm gonna thin that out. Okay. Yeah, let's put her on a better. Should have a better stand here somewhere. Now I can use this cork. Like a split thing there. Let's put her on this. And this ought to work better. Oh man, it's flimsy. It's better. Yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't look very good. Okay. Let me see if I can actually dot that eye in on this side. I don't think I can. It's like so small. And there it goes. Yeah, dotted it in, but you still can't see it. You have no chance of seeing that. Alright, let's go ahead and do the next layer of skin. So we're going to do tanned highlight. And it's going to be fairly generous. This is actually going the base coat color. Actually, I should give her pink lips. Right. So like some features of her face have prominence to them. Lips would be a big thing. Actually, Poison Ivy has green lips. But green lips you won't be able to see here. Yeah, I'm gonna do pink even though you really shouldn't on that. Well, not that you shouldn't, it's just not accurate. But it's okay, it'll still look fine. Alright. Yeah. A little too much. Luckily, very easy to fix this. There we go. Let's do a little more parasite. More red hair. There we go. Uh-oh. That mistake is gonna stay. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to paint that back in. Okay. Really weird. So she's a fairly bright green on her outfit in a couple of spots here. I was just gonna. Right. Let's have a look at the box art. Wow. Yeah, so it's like really bright green there. Okay. So I think if I kind of shade this a little bit, right? Provide a little bit of shadow there, here. Because what I'll do is I'm gonna wash her. I'm gonna wash the top part of her outfit with a brighter green wash, or actually a green ink, and then the bottom part I won't wash. I just kind of leave it like that, and it'll have a nice little contrast to it. Just gotta find my green ink. It's turquoise. Where's my green ink? Okay. Yeah, the box art, they really were able to get in there and get that face, and I wasn't able to do much in that regard. But let's go ahead and put this in, and this will define that area of her costume. There you go. Pretty simple, huh? And that's I guess I can do green ink on some of the other areas here. So let's do that. Kind of just use it to define little certain other areas. Right. The idea is you don't want all of this the same color, right? You want some good variation in the foliage around her. So you use the ink to kind of help get you there. These are all pretty nice. I'll just highlight a little bit of the teeth on these. Okay. What do I do with that area? That's this. Okay. So we're doing okay. I'm going to just paint in some of the teeth here. Right. Keep this guy looking scary. Okay, there's that. This moving along pretty well. And I could paint a little bit of black inside the mouth there to give it a little more depth. I mean, the overall effect of the model is awesome. It'd be nice if the head was just a little bit bigger, even if it resulted in a slightly odd, um, like odd proportion. I think for a miniature it would look better. Like kind of like how the hands are ridiculously big on a lot of like um, warrior type miniatures because they want to be able to sculpt a weapon in there. Same concept. I think that's looking pretty good. So now let's go ahead and start painting in the cobblestone. So to paint the cobblestone, I'm going to need a gray, like a cold gray. I need like a really deep red. Which I'll find here in a second. I swear. There's a good red. So gray, a red, and like a tan. Where did my tan go? There's a good tan. Not too out of proportion like the Superman. That's true. Superman had a giant head, right? In that set, if I recall. Okay. So we're gonna paint this cobblestone, kind of how I did all like my other brick herringbone, right? Just three different colors, and then use the we're gonna use a wash to kind of bring it all together. I'm not being the most careful here. I guess it's okay. Because it's all gonna blend. His body was flying, had a pillar on. Oh, that's right. I remember that. You still have all your Batman stuff, right, Nelson? Never sell your Batman stuff. Why not? Well, it's cool that you'll keep it. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if you were like, "Hey, I needed the money. I went ahead and sold it." Don't sweat it, man. Okay, so now let's do some of the red. They are great. That is, I mean, that's why we play Batman, is because the models are so cool. And we love the characters. So yes. But that gray I'm using isn't dark enough. Whatever. Oh, how come this is harder to paint than my regular brick herringbone? The bricks are bigger. Should be easier to paint this. Maybe I'm just too tired. Could be. Few permanent Gotham table at my future house. Nice. You're just gonna have the you're just gonna have the game room, but it's like a much bigger room. Maybe a wing of your house will be for gaming. Now that's a dream right there. If I hit the lottery or something like that, that's for sure I'm having that in my house. Wow. Yeah, Nevada or Texas. Yeah, dude. So many people down on California right now. My wife and I talk about it all the time. Should we leave California? Um, because the company I work for, their parent company owns companies all over the country. And so it's kind of like a regular thing. Like my boss will ask, are you willing to would you be willing to relocate for the company? And I said yes. Um, so if it ever came down to it, and you know, they wanted to move me to another division or something like that, um, then yeah, I probably would move to another part of the country. I don't think my wife would work. We talked about that too. Like, she wouldn't have to work. So that would be a big plus. But yeah, yeah. If I got paid, if I could keep my salary, right, it's a no brainer because I'd keep my salary, be in another part of the country where I could pay for a big house and a couple of cars, and my wife is and she doesn't have to work. That's like the dream right there. I don't know if this is right. I think I'm going to do somber gray actually is the other gray because that's too. It just looks too bright. I need a darker color in here. I'm pretty sure I have somber gray. So I have to find it. There it is, somber gray. Yeah, let's do somber gray. You know, I'd miss all my friends in California and whatnot, but hell, maybe if I move to like the middle of the country, there's probably plenty of Guild Ball being played, right? The bigger metas for Guild Ball are like the Midwest and, Virginia, Chicago. No one even knows about the California. It's too close. No, that's fine. No one even really knows about the California Guild Ball meta. We're just not. We're not as talked about. We don't have the numbers that the other parts of the country and the other parts of the world have for Guild Ball players. I thought Somber Gray would be darker. It's okay. We'll make it work. East Coast. Yeah, they have big. Yeah. Right. And then maybe I don't. I'm not a pundit or anything out there. I'm just like another regular player. I'd be down with that because you know, there probably would already be a pundit in that area. If I had to move to Georgia or Michigan, Ohio, or something like that. Chicago. Chicago has a really active meta. Okay, let that dry for a second. Much bigger conventions and tournaments happen more often there. Guess it's easier for UK, European. Well, I don't know about that. I think the theory is California has so much other shit to do. Like we don't have like in the Midwest in the winter, and I know this from experience from guys that I used to game with back in Chicago, that they would um, in the wintertime, that's all they would do because they would just basically hole up in their homes or whatever and just uh, play 40K or play War Machine or whatever they were playing. Use a bigger brush to do this part. All right, just kind of get that down there. Right, just let that dry. So, yeah, in the wintertime, they just hole up and play their games or whatever, right? Wintertime for us is like no big deal. We're still, oh yeah, we can still go to the beach or, you know, be outside, go out at night, that kind of stuff. You can't really do that in like Chicago where it's freezing effing cold. Okay. Oh, that's interesting what it's doing. It's actually repelling this to a degree. How weird that. Does it blends all together like this, and then you can still see some of the green underneath. Kind of cool. Okay. And then let's paint all the rims. Rims. Braku. Braku. Is it really only 10 o'clock? Holy crap. Holy crap. Well, let's finish painting these then. And then we can paint another guy. You can paint that like Flash guy, I guess, and Nightwing at the same time. Woo. Gotta be careful about that. So you've already decided you want to live in Nevada or Texas? I could live in either one of those states. I think my wife would absolutely hate Texas. I'd be down though. I could live in Texas. It'd be interesting. I mean, she almost kind of for a while there was almost kind of fantasizing about living in another state, just because the thought of not having to work anymore, being able to watch our kids and move to Nevada in 5 years. Nice. Get yourself a big old plot of land. I know a guy who moved to Nevada a couple years ago, and he's from this area. He had a tiny little place in LA, and he moved to Nevada, has a giant place, and he has three kids, two or three kids. His wife no longer has to work. he does still work in LA. So he just like he has some weird like back and forth. I think like I think he lives in like the Vegas area. So it's like 4 hours in between or a 45-minute flight. I know another guy too who's a trainer here and he lives in the Vegas area and he loves it. He's like he used to live in Mission Viejo here and moved out to Vegas and then moved back here for a while and hated it again and moved back out to Vegas. So I was like, good for him. Company has branches in 48 states. I know people, yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. You know, we'll miss you here, but hell, I don't blame you one bit. If you want to get a better life for yourself and, bigger plot of land and do what you got to do, right? Okay. I don't know if I want to start this guy. Well, it's not terrible. Yeah, let's work on it. Henderson Greenville's great. Yeah, I think you'd really like it there. You'd have to start your own meta though on the gaming front. I don't think there's much out there for gaming. I did some gaming in Vegas the last time I was out there for work. Let's see. Johnny Quick. Let's have a look. Johnny Quick. Okay, looks like all that stuff is just like gold. So he's just gold and red. That's like his whole deal. Gold and red. Then he's standing on that stupid tactical rock, which I absolutely hate. It's whatever. So if I paint let's paint the skin on his face in first. Shane moved to Nevada to start his family. He used to play X-Wing. Oh, nice. No, I will share one sad thing. Right. So the last time I went out to Vegas, I was asking around like, "Hey, what's the local gaming like here?" And kind of put it out on the Facebook groups. And this guy reached out to me, and he was super cool. He's like, "Hey, man, I play Guild Ball and Batman, all that other stuff too, right?" So he reached out. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I just paint the whole face in and worry about the mask in a minute. Um, so he was like, "Yeah, I play all that stuff too. Come on out, in I'll meet you out there at the LGS, right?" So I met him out there. It was cool. Um, I forgot. I don't think we ended up playing anything because I think he forgot his Guild Ball, and all I had on me was Guild Ball and Malifaux, and he didn't play those. But we hung out. We talked about games like the whole night. Super good guy, right? Nicest person, one of the nicest people you'll meet. And I get home, and like not even within a month of me being home after my trip, this guy gets murdered. And that is just some wild shit, right? He just he's a gamer. He's like a chubby, he's like a doughy Asian guy, right? Not too different than me, except much younger, no wife, no kids. Just barely getting out of school, trying to start his life, right? And he's out, taking out the trash or something at like 3 in the morning, and car pulls up, starts yelling at him, and then they shoot him. They shoot him dead right in front of his house. Um, and you know, one of the guys that owned the shop or whatever, sent the news report of him getting killed, and that just shook me, man. Because you know what I mean, like we weren't like deep friends or nothing like that, but it's like I just met the dude, and like I could already tell like he's a super good guy. Um, you know, we could be friends or whatever, and yeah, and then suddenly, like, and it's the most senseless thing ever, right? Even the police were like, this guy basically was like a saint. He had no ties to gangs, nothing like that. It wasn't even in a bad neighborhood. There's just some fucking punks riding around late at night, just crazy as shit. Just decided they see this guy out on the street, and then they just decided to shoot him. Super sad. And I don't know. That was just heartbreaking, man. That shook me pretty bad. I reached out to the guys in the store and just kind of told them, hey, here's my story. Because it's a big deal, right? When you go into a store and you want to get in a game, but a lot of us gamers aren't the most social people. I don't think I suffer from this too much, but I had to get out of my shell, right? Like I was, I am naturally more shy, but decades of working and gaming and everything else has got me outside my shell. So it's no longer a problem for me, but I understand that it's a problem for most people, right? For most gamers. Like you see it like at least once a month at CQ. Somebody's there at Thursday night and they're kind of just like looking around, they're not talking to anybody. And I always try to like make it a point for me to just reach out and go like, "Hey man, what are you playing tonight? What's going on?" Um for not just for selfish reasons like, oh, hey, we could have another Guild Ball player. No, not just for that, but because it's like you just know that a lot of these people are, they just want a little interaction, but they don't know how to start. Like they don't know how to initiate a social interaction. Um, what was this about a good month ago or whatever? There was this girl back there in the gaming area, and she's real shy. You could tell, like, shoulders down, and just kind of looking around. She seemed real nervous, and I reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, you want to get in a game?" And she said yes, and I'm like, "I don't have a board game. I have a." And then I started teaching her Guild Ball, and that went way over her head. Poor girl. Um, but she was willing to hang out and play for a little bit, and that was cool. But, I guess what I'm getting at is like this guy was one of those types of people. Like he did that for me. He didn't know me from Adam, and we hung out for a bit. Um, and we made plans like, hey, next time I'm here in Vegas, we're gonna we'll get in a game. Uh, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Uh, and it's the thought that it just made me sad. Like that's not gonna happen now. And that could have been fun because I do go to Vegas occasionally for work, and it would have been cool to have another person that I, you know, head out to and game with. I used to have people that I game with in Chicago, but one of them moved away. The other one kind of got out of miniature games. Oh, fix that. Yes, pretty funny when uh so truth okay, so my truth is I was only with that girl there. I was only just trying to be like friendly, right? I figured she wouldn't want to play a miniatures game with me. That she would go, uh, that we would be able to drop her into a board game with the board gamers. That was my hope. Like, oh, I was like, I don't think she just doesn't look like someone. She didn't strike me as somebody that would be into a miniatures game. And I was right, she wasn't, but she was like, she just wanted some interaction, so it was cool. CQ scares me at them. Yeah, with those yeah, it does. Not the safest place, man. You're by a park there. There's some addicts in that park. We know that, those guys are at least one of the guys back there is dealing with some mental health issues. So it's not the safest thing. Late at night, we're like we hang out a little after, right after the store shuts down. We'll hang out outside there. But there's like 5 or 6 of us, right? So we're covered if anyone wanted to start shit, like it's not so bad. What about the staff that has to lock up, at like 11 o'clock at night, and then they have to hoof it from there all the way out to their car, which is out in the lot there. That's like that's not okay, man. I'm like, oh, it's like should we wait for Aaron after he shuts down on Thursday, walk him out to his car? You know what I mean? I think about that sometimes. Should be walking the CQ staff to their car? You have go make it for. But you know what I mean? Like if I'm there late at night, maybe I should next time just try to stay out there till like 11 and just kind of make that into a habit, right? My kids are asleep already at that by 10, so it's not a it's there's no I'm not losing any time with my kids. It would be pretty gangster though, like, you know, we're out there talking at night and some dude rolls up, tries to start some shit, and Nelson breaks out his golden AK. You think I'm playing, bitch? You think I'm playing? You put on like the full Joker costume, like you smear the makeup on your face and shit. That would be some dark shit, man. If you ever did that, you'd be a legend in my book, but some people would be scared by that. I think it'd be awesome personally, but that's just me. Ah, don't do that. You're messing with the wrong gamer crew, dipshit. You're like, do you even Legion? Mother. You're like, I've been playing this Legion since Wave 1, bitch. I cap you in your face. Any other gold bits on this guy? No. Just all. Okay. I know it looks like shit right now, but bear with, man. I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna paint the tactical rock in. Fuck the tactical rock. I hate the tactical rock. All right. We got to get that gill ball in, though, dude. Be good. It'll be good. I want to play some. I do want to see like more casual gill ball being played. At this point, I think everyone kind of knows like who's the really strong players and who aren't, and that's cool and all. But we need like the fresh blood in there. That dry a little bit. I guess while that's drying, let's do just a little bit on this guy. Get the next part of his skin in. How do you yeah, not these little eyes in? Except the fact they'll get curb stomper doesn't. Eh, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, against experienced players, you can't expect to lose a lot of your early games. Nah, it's gotten to the point where there are just certain people I cannot beat, right? They just got too good at the game. They got too good at their teams, you know? Talking specifically about Kevin and Nathan. Although I can still beat Nathan, it's just not. It's not nearly as often as it used to be, and it's extremely hard now with with the new alchemist. Oh yeah, yeah. Like against Kevin, I have no chance. Like Kevin's farmers have no chance of beating that team unless I'd have to really push myself and play. I'd have to play like a super ultra competitive team, right? It would probably take me, a few months to get to a team that uh, could could regularly challenge him. Like in my case, I probably would field a. I probably have to get really good at like a blacksmith's team or a union team, right? Like a vet rage or something like that that can really handle a lot of what the farmers could throw at me. And then even then, I'd still have to spend a fair bit of time outplaying him. Well, no, I mean I'll fully admit I'm not as good a I'm just not as good a player as these guys are. You know, I there are people. It's like Guild Ball's like a sport, right? And you may have things that you like to do, things that are part of your play style that you want to play. That um, uh, whereas a really skilled player, they don't really need a play style. Okay, that's the weird thing about Guild Balls. Like a skilled player doesn't really need a play style. They just need to be they just need to be very sharp, right? They like they need to know, okay, this is my team, and this is what this guy does, and I need to be very and I just need to play him very cleanly and accurately and not make too many mistakes. That's one thing that I can tell you right now is like the difference between players that I can regularly beat and players that regularly beat me. Players that I can regularly beat is a is they can put down a stronger team than I have, and it happens fairly regularly that they can put down a stronger team than I have on the board. Even teams that are like almost like a hard counter to the team I'm playing, but they make they make a certain number of mistakes that allows me to just play around. I was thinking about that pretty intensely. Like, okay, well, um, so and so plays this team. That team should be kicking my ass on paper, right? But they make lots of mistakes that I can capitalize on. They play this way, and I know how to counter playing that way, right? Then you have other guys that they just don't make very many mistakes. So it's like, okay, well, when you're playing against a player that you are better than, it's very easy for you to see their mistakes and then counter them. But when you're playing against someone better than you, they're doing that to you. They're like, oh, they picked up like, oh, you screwed this up. You screwed this up. I mean, I'm going to force you into this bad decision or this bad position, and that's how you know. Like that's how you know that you're in my opinion, that you're better than another player doesn't have anything to do with how often you beat them. It has more to do with how often can you spot their mistakes? How often are they spotting yours? Who's better at capitalizing off the other guy's mistakes? I feel like That's really what you do in Guild Ball. It's like you get to a point where there's a level of player that um, you know, they get to know the basics of what each character does, and they can reasonably put together a decent plan and execute on that plan, right? Then you have the other players that then there's a layer above that, the players that kind of rely on memorizing things. Like they remember everything that these players do and this player does and that kind of thing. And they rely more on experience and memory to kind of help guide them as far as what they can and should not do, right? Then you have like the more elite, in my opinion, the more elite players um, that simply they don't need to remember everything that players do, but they just play very cleanly and they know how to get into situations that favor them. They know how to capitalize on mistakes that you make. And there's no real better way of putting that. Okay, so this is gonna be wild here, but we're gonna do. I'm gonna wash with that umber wash that I use, and you could just wash this whole model. But that's kind of what like that. That's kind of how I see the different strata of Guild Ball players. It's like this person, they know how I play. They know mistakes I'm gonna make. They know they not even just mistakes I'm gonna make. They know weaknesses in the teams that I put on the board, right? For example, me playing against Kevin's farmers with my alchemist is an extremely uphill battle for several reasons. Like he can take uh, he can take Harrow and Peck to counter all my condition games. He knows he can rely really heavily on 2-inch melee because I don't have much 2-inch melee. He knows that I don't have much knockdown, so he can walk all over the board. Like he can play a lot more aggressive against me because I can't threaten him with anything significant on Alchemist. Like we just can't keep up with the health tracks, the 2-inch melee, that kind of stuff. So even though like it's weird because it's like I know what he's gonna do, he knows what I'm gonna do, and I just don't have the personnel to really deal with him. But it isn't just that, it isn't just that. It's also that knows he understands how to position a little bit better to favor him in most situations. He knows how to position better. He's got a better uh, grasp of his own activation order. Oh God, worried about that happening. Gotta just sit here and let it dry, right? Let's let it soup up a little bit. Well, yeah, that's that's really what it comes down to. If you have players who are about equal skill in Guild Ball, you get some excellent games that can go either way, right? And that was the cool part about where we were in season 3 towards the end there was we had a bunch of people, they're all roughly the same skill, and games could go a number of different ways. Um, so our meta was pretty balanced. Season 4 though, and I don't know that the game balance changed, but they changed teams in varying degrees, and some of us adapted to those changes better than others. Really gotta just let that dry, don't I? That's annoying. Maybe I can blow a little air on it. Try to get it dry. And it's not gonna dry. Yeah, it's all right. Let's go ahead and paint the lip in then. Mm-hmm. That's probably just consequence of painting too late at night. Can't get the paint to dry. But we'll get it. The fact that it's sort of blended right now will only help after it's actually dry. Yeah, we'll give that some time to dry. And then just hit it with the hit it with the wash there. All right. The other thing we can work on over here, let's work on this dude. I need a good blue, like this kind of blue, this Andrea blue. Looks like that stripe carries all the way down his arm. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay, look at some stock photo. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay. Now, let's see what we got. So this area here, right? It's gonna be hard to see exactly how this pattern goes. Like that. There we go. I think that's how that goes. Okay. Just get some of this blue down. I know painting a model that is mostly black freaks out a lot of painters because it's just so counterintuitive. Like how do I paint black when it looks like nothing? It looks like you're not. Or do you just paint the black in and hope for the best, or how do you shade it? How do you highlight it? Okay, I think I got that right. Think so. Is there any other blue on them? I don't think so. Okay. Mhm, mhm. Right. Okay. And then, so now we're just going to hit this model with a black ink glaze. It's like one of my tricks for painting like a, a black skin suit. If you hit it with this. Sometimes it takes a couple of layers to do this. Or sometimes you get it in one. Just depends. Right. Right, and you see all that pre-shading, all that stuff starts to pay off right here. Right. Just really effective way to do that. Right. Now it just sort of happens. You paint it in. And then you paint this in, you let that dry. And then if it's not dark enough, you hit it again. Very simple. Very simple. You can actually get, you can do the, you can shade the blue too. Right. Kind of nice. Be able to do that. Just don't let anything pool on the blue. This is a custom ink glaze that I make out of Armor Wash and glaze medium. And you see how it just does it, right? It's like painting magic. Just magically makes Nightwing and Batman look like Batman. You missed it. It's okay. I mean, you saw all I did was I just pre-shaded everything, right? With an airbrush and then a dry brush. And then you do that. I'm gonna let that dry. But yeah, it just it just makes a Nightwing. Yay! And then I'm gonna use more of a brown color here. Right, just get that with an umber. What's going on? You're naked. What the hell? Save that for the after party, Adam. What's up, man? would it be like in the Canada land of Canadians? Can see your naked hands. Yes, you can. Call the censors. This is against some decency standard somewhere, right? Naked hands. Naked hands on a naked man's. Dude, if you're naked in Canada right now, how are you not dead? Wouldn't you have frozen to death if that's true? Dog sleds include polar bears, the normal maple syrup harvest 2019. that that sentence has surpassed the legal limit of Canadian allowed in one YouTube chat section. Yeah. All right. I don't know how many times I've painted Nightwing for Batman. I know I've painted this one before. I think Jose had me paint one of these for him. Yeah, I think I painted Jose's. Because I was like, Chris handed me this, and I was like, wait a minute, didn't I already paint this? I'm like, yeah, how do you paint it for Jose though? Okay, we'll let that dry. You made your YouTube account right after I saw the movie. Still needs some highlight on him. Still it's a little bit wonky. We'll fix that. Just let him dry for now. All right, let's redo. There we go. Much better. There. Blended better. Shades better. Okay, cool. It needs more hockey stick. Yes. Okay. And I think I just need to let this dude dry. Okay. There we go. All right. I mean, it's decent for now. Let's shade the back of the. Okay. I'm gonna let that dry. You can see. Hold on. Oh, there was some stuff. Here, I'll show you. So that's kind of what we worked on tonight, right? So Johnny Quick, pretty simple. These are pretty simple paint schemes. Nothing too big here. Johnny Quick, couple. Oh, I should highlight that. It's not too bad. You know, some more plants. Rah. Nothing too big there. Another plant. Rah. And then finally, another plant. Rah. That thing. So yeah. I still have 2 more minis from this commission to paint. And they're the fun big guys, so we got Killer Croc here. We'll work on him in the next couple of days. Work on Killer Croc and we'll work on my main man. The mini I want for my own Secret 6, King Shark. Oh man, how come that didn't? We'll work on King Shark and Killer Croc here soon as well. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for now. I mean, it was more miniatures than I was expecting to clear through tonight. That's cool. So with that, we're gonna draw this feed to a close. Once again, want to thank everyone for watching. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.